D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So, Superman and Lois continues to just really impress me. I really like this show. I think it's great. I think the writing is really good. I think the action scenes are solid. I think the acting is good. Did I say that? The writing is good. Anyways, and this one we got a little bit of a surprise and everything, which I'm happy about. And I really like, I'm really excited to see where they go forward from here. This show is so good. I mean, this is the best CW show right now. I know that's not hard to beat, with such great shows like Supergirl and Batwoman and Legends of Tomorrow. But no, this show is solid for sure. So I'll break this down and talk about some stuff when we get to it and everything. But before I get started, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithms, and small channels like myself usually get pushed to the back of the line. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. I also do this to any small YouTuber that just needs a little bit of help, and I'm pretty sure they would appreciate it as well. So let's get started on this breakdown of this show. So it starts off, if you remember last time, Jordan was like going crazy with his head and everything because his powers were kicking in. So they fly to the Fortress of Solitude. Superman whisks him in there and everything. He's like, there's no noise up here, so it'll help out. So then he plugs into the computer and he's all like, his hearing is kicking in. That's the power that's kicking in right now. It's like sensory overload. And so he's calm here in the fortress or whatnot. And, Kal-El is freaking out. So then at home, he puts on noise canceling earmuffs. So they're sitting there talking to his brother and everything. And they're just like, hey, we need you to go to school and lie for your brother. And he's like, lie for him again and everything. And which we're going to talk about him and his brother in a little bit when we get into this episode. But again, Jonathan's getting shafted on this show. So then Jordan's, upset, but he goes to bed or whatnot. And they're sitting here talking, and she's, was worried because, her son was like seizuring or whatnot. The next morning, she's talking to Lana Lang. I don't remember these people's last name. It's not Lang anymore because she got married, but it doesn't even matter. And she's all like, I want to help. And she's all like, you don't have to do this. I can figure this stuff out myself. And she's like, no, I want to help. Morgan Edge is doing something, and this is my town. I want to help out, kind of thing. So then these two are talking about Luther, who I don't remember what the name they gave him, the Black Luther from the other planet. I'm going to take this off and get a little hot. And they're talking about how he's not really who he says he is. And it's like, yeah, no, duh, ding, ding. So she's going to try to figure it out and what Morgan Edge is doing with the kryptonite and everything, and with the superpowered people and all that stuff. So Morgan Edge, she's trying to figure out who the Luther guy was from the other planet. And his little assistant, I think her name is Leslie. He's all like, you failed me. And she's like, I'm sorry. We can't find him on any of our, stuff. So then Lana shows up to her job, and he's all like, I want you to build a leadership program, AKA experiments, for the X-Kryptonite. And he's like, I want you to get together some people. And she's like, how many people? He's like, 5. And she's like, okay. And she knows something else. She knows what's doing. So then Jordan, him and Superman, he's like, hey, I'm going to help you out. It took me, I was out for like a couple of weeks and everything because I was trying to figure out my hearing. And I always like seeing Superman try to like use his powers and try to get there, to how to use his powers. I always like seeing those little montages in every movie. Even if the movie is bad, I like seeing them. So he's like, focus on one thing. So he's trying to focus on the drip, but everything happens and he has to quit. And he's like, I'll do it tomorrow, kind of thing. So then Luther is trying to fix the AI, and he does, but it's only at 30%, I think it said. And then Lois shows up at his thing because she's going there, and she's like, hey, you're not who you say you are. And he then gets some flashbacks of his planet, his world, and he's married to Lois Lane in this one. And they're getting all a little fresh and everything. And their daughter walks in, And she's like, oh, you guys are the most loving, affectionate couple I've ever met. So then there's like explosion and people are screaming and everything. And then Superman and these other Kryptonians, which are not really Kryptonians, but they show up and they just start destroying everything. This was actually like kind of a cool scene, even though there was death and destruction. And he's remembering that. So then Jordan, he's decided he's going to try again, but by himself. And he's going to focus on this clock. So he's focusing on the clock and he fails again. Totally understandable. Hey, when you fail, you try and try again, or whatever how that goes. So then Sarah, he's talking to Jonathan and she's all like, where's your brother? And he's all like, he's sick. And she's like, oh, he's sick again. Why are you lying and everything? And he's all like, Tech attacked him and he's going to be out for a little bit. And she's like, oh, that's why he had those bruises. He's like, yeah, which is the truth. He says that later on, that he's like, I kind of told, it was a little bit of it was the partially the truth. But he's also kind of a little whiner about it. Cause he's like, oh, by the way, I broke my wrist. Thanks for asking. I hate when people do that crap. Like, listen, dude, we weren't talking about you. So why are you making it about you? Like, don't make me Z-snap. Okay. Back off. Okay. And then he's like all, whiny about it. You didn't notice my injury. Anyways. So he walks off and everything. And then these two are like, he's like, I don't know if I want you to be alone with this guy. And she's like, I can handle it. So they sit at this diner and she's all like, who are you? And he's like, I can't tell you who I really am, yada, yada, yada. And Clark goes into his thing. And while he's in there, the AI goes, are you back, Major Luthor? And as soon as it says Luthor, he's all like, what? And everything. And he's all like, there's an attack coming. You need to, prepare yourself. I can't remember exactly what he said. And then Chrissy calls her and she's all like, Morgan Edge is something about he's moving because they decide, this is what they decide. The Leslie chick, I think that's her name. They decide they're going to move a small piece of the kryptonite, the X-kryptonite, and see who comes after it. And Chrissy is all like, they're moving some of the kryptonite. And she's all like, hey, I got to go. And so she picks up Clark. And then the AI is all like, hey, Clark was here. I got a picture of him. And then he's all like, seeing they're moving the kryptonite. So then back at the thing, Lana comes in contact with an old friend. And she's all like, I was out of work because I was trying to take care of my kids. We couldn't afford daycare. But now that my kid is older and in school and everything, I can get back into the workforce. And she's like, I'd love it if you could put me in for this leadership program, AKA being experimented on. And she's like, I can't make any promises, but I'll try. Cause she's trying to get her to not do it. Cause she knows something's happening. And Morgan Edge sees these two talking, and you'll see how that plays. So these two are talking. She's telling him how Luthor is like, is he related to Luthor? Is it a son, a cousin, a nephew, whatever? So then the convoy of stuff, they've got a van full of people, guys with guns, bang, bang. And then the truck in front with the kryptonite. So then Luthor stops the truck, and Clark, I didn't grab any screenshots for this, but Clark grabs the van and then he puts it on top of a little rocket and then calls the Leslie girl. He's like, we got a problem. So he gets the guy to get out of the truck, and then they open up the back and they get the kryptonite out, and she's listening to everything with her super hearing. Back at high school, he's trying to close his locker, but he can't because of his thing. And he runs into this little hot girl. I think her name is Mimi or whatnot. I love how all like the like mean girls of the school all look the same. I mean, look at these. They're wearing their like cardigan sweaters and they're like, I don't know. Anyways. And she's all like, don't beat up the locker. Anger never solves anything. And then she's like, if you next time you can't get your zipper to close, which I thought she was talking about his fly. And I was all like, oh, this girl's naughty. She's a little naughty girl. But, she was talking about his backpack, which who would know that? And he's like, I'm not going to try to yell at my backpack. That's weird. So she's like, see you around, new guy. So then Sarah comes up and she's like, she's out of your league. And he's like, what do you know? How do you know what my league is, kind of thing? She's like, I'm sorry and everything. And so they start talking, and Jordan decides he's going to do it again. But how he's going to figure out his powers is he's going to look at a picture of Sarah, his love interest, and he's going to focus on her voice and everything. So he does it and he can hear her. And he hears their conversation. And he thinks that Jonathan is moving in on his woman. And he gets upset, but really they're just having a conversation as friends. And he's saying, if you ever need somebody to talk to, I'm here, which is totally cool. Sarah and Jonathan and Jordan are not dating. So they're not boyfriend girlfriend, so she obviously wouldn't go to him. And if they were dating and she had a problem with her boyfriend, there's nothing wrong with going to his twin and be like, your brother's being a jerk and everything. So he gets mad, he punches the wall. Anyways, so then they're talking, and he has another flashback, and they're in a bunker, and he's like, where's your mother? I'm talking about Lois Lane. And him and his daughter are watching on TV, and Lois is on top of this building, and she's all like, what she says is, she's all like, the Kryptonians, Superman and the Kryptonians have a weakness. It's called kryptonite. Find it and you can defeat them. And they're watching this on screen, and then he asks her, she's like, you need to give us the kryptonite. And he's like, how much do you, he's like, I need to talk to Superman. And she's like, I'll see what I can do about getting you a meeting, even though Clark is right there. And he's all like, how much do you trust Superman? And she's like, with my life. And then in this screen in this other planet, you see Superman pop up behind her, and she's like, and she looks at the screen, she's like, I love you too. And then Superman goes all red eyes and destroys and kills her. And he's like, when he asks, and then he goes back to her, and she's like, I trust him with my life. And he's like, I knew you'd say that. So he gives them the kryptonite. They get in the car and everything. And then he goes back to his little lair, and he starts building. And then it does this little montage of building the armor that he showed up in episode 1. And he's also building something else, which we'll talk about in just a second. But he's working on it with his daughter. And they build the suit, and she puts a little bug emblem on there, and she's like, because I can't be there. And he calls her Bug. Then Jonathan comes home, and Jordan's all like, what were you talking to Sarah about? And he's like, are you spying on me? And he's like, tell me no, and everything. He's like, and then he's making all this noise, and he's all like, going crazy and everything. And then he hits the wall and everything. He's like, don't ever spy on me again and everything. He's all like, and he has every right to be pissed. Jordan is being a dick. Okay. Jonathan has, and I've said this in every review, has done nothing but sacrifice for his twin brother. And he's been nothing but crapped on this entire show. And he's still been a solid guy. So Jordan coming at him right now is ridiculous. And I'd be pissed too. So then back at Edge, they're talking, and she picks out 4, and he's all like, what about your husband? And she's all like, well, he's the chief of the fire department. And he's all like, that can be mended or whatnot. And she's like, I don't know. She's like, let me talk to him. Let me see what we can do, because of the girls and everything. He's like, I can't wait for your decision. Then back at the Gazette, they're chit-chatting, trying to figure out who Luther is. So Superman shows up and everything, and they're talking, and he's all like, I have to save the world from this. And he's like, is it Morgan Edge? And he's like, he plays a part, but it's you. You're the bad guy. I have to defeat you. And so they find out that his name is Jeremy Irons. You guys, he's Steel. That's so freaking cool. So freaking cool. And he is a Superman. Now, there's kind of different iterations, but he basically just has a steel costume and a hammer. There was a movie in the 90s. It's pretty awful. There are good things. It starred Shaq. I love Shaq, but he should not have done that movie. But there are good things about that movie, but not many. But yeah, anyways. So he's Jeremy Irons, and he's like, I have to defeat you. But then he puts on these red lights, and that's one of the things he was working on, was these red lights for the Red Sun to weaken Superman. And he has his hammer. His steel has a hammer and everything. And I didn't put the 2 and 2 together. I hope he gets his outfit again, but more comic books accurate. So he gets his hammer. It's a kinetic hammer. So he's talking about how, like, the further it has to travel, the harder, because it collects all this kinetic energy to make a big boom or whatever. And he's like, the further it has to travel, the bigger object it can take out. So he's just beating the crap out of Superman. And while he's doing that, Leslie knows that Superman's tangled up, so she's like, move the kryptonite. So they move the kryptonite. Jordan hears his dad getting his butt kicked, and he's all like, we need to go help Dad. And Jonathan's like, let's do this. So they steal the truck, and they're driving, and he's all like, he's like listening. He's like, you got to focus on Dad's voice and find him. So they go to him, and he's just still beating the crap out of him. And they come in. I love this shot right here. And everything, and they hit him, but he puts the hammer up and he flies backwards, and there's a big dent in it, and Jordan is not feeling it either with the red kryptonite, but Jonathan grabs the hammer and he knocks out the lights. Superman pops up, and he's pissed. So he goes to him, and he's and as he's walking up, Jeremy Irons, I'm going to call him Irons now, not Luther. And the reason they called him Luther before was because his daughter, the suit and the AI was from Luther Corp, and they had it was configured to Luther, so the AI just calls him Luther. Because he was like, it doesn't matter who the suit thinks I am. We just need it, kind of thing. So anyways, so while he's doing that, they're intercutting in with black suit Superman and red and blue suit Superman, because what he sees, and he goes to punch him, and Lois is like, enough, it's over, and everything. And she's kissing her boys and everything. So then he's back at the DOD or DOJ, whatever it's called. And he's all like, and this guy's all like, what do you want to do? He's like, nobody goes in there until General Lane gets back. And he's like, and I'm going to be the first person to interrogate him. So then Lana, her friend that she was to show up, she's all like, I just want to thank you so much. I got into the leadership program. And she's like, I didn't do anything. She's like, oh no, yes, you did. I brought this basket over for you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And she's like feeling bad because she knows that it's bad, that something's bad is going to happen. And so he's back at this little thing, and they've got their people. And he's all like, we've got our guinea pigs. He's like, you were the only one, Leslie, that was successful. And she's like, hey, you got to break a couple of eggs to make an omelet. And he's all like, well, we have our eggs, and it's these 5 people. And this Emily Fan is one of them, which is a bummer. And so they're sitting here and talking. She's like, you could have died tonight. And he's like, luckily I didn't. She's like, well, we can't. I like that. Look, that's good screenshot. She's like, we can't keep running on luck. She's like, we have to tell the boys everything. We have to tell them. We can't keep, they're in danger when we keep secrets like this. So then these two, he's all like, I'm sorry. And he's all like, well, I kind of told her the truth. It was partially the truth. He did get attacked by a tank or tank. Anyways. And they have I'm sorry. And then they start freaking out about how cool their middle mission was. He's like, I drove a truck. I don't even have a learner's permit and everything. And which is good. I mean, like, and I've said this before, I have a twin brother, so I totally get this relationship of fighting and then making up and everything. And so it's good to see this kind of stuff. Like, you celebrate your wins and you comfort each other with your losses. But this was great. So then the parents come in, and he's all like, listen, you guys were reckless. You just jumped out of a cannon, but I appreciated it because you saved my life. He's like, and they're like, we don't want to keep any more secrets from you guys. We're going to tell you everything starting now. And what questions do you have? And they were like, well, you can start off by telling us what was with that dude that tonight. And then we get another flashback, and he's like, I know where Kal-El is. And she's like, the suit, she's like, I haven't configured to Luther. And he's like, it doesn't matter. He's like, I need to go now so we can get him now and kill him now. And we will see that in the next episode because I saw the promo. And so his daughter, this girl's very pretty. I like her. I like her hair and everything, but I love this look with the goggles and everything. I hope she shows up again. She kind of reminds me of Bumblebee right there. Maybe she is Bumblebee, because I think that's Jeremy Irons' daughter. I don't really know that much about that character. If she does show up as Bumblebee, that'll be freaking sweet. Anyways, so then he's all like, I have to go. We have to kill him. And so they're all huggy and everything. She puts one of her hair ties around his wrist and everything. It's so funny. Me and my daughter do that too. So I connected there. And I have to tell you right now, I really like this character a lot. So then they hug, and he's like, I promise I'll be back. I will be back. I promise. And then it goes back to him in I'm just going to say our world, even though it's not a real world. Anyways, and he's in his cell, and he's messing with the hair tie. And he just keeps hearing, echoing over and over again, I'll be back, I promise. Now, I have to say right now, like I was saying before, I really like this character of Jeremy Irons in this show. As a father, I connect with these characters. I connect with all the dad characters in the show because I'm all like, yeah, I'm always on their side. Like, every time a kid messes up in a TV show, I'm all like, no, your dad is right. You screwed up, dude. Like, quit playing. He is 100% correct. You are the monster kind of thing. But I really liked it a lot. I'm glad that they made him Jeremy Irons and not Luther from Another Planet. I think it's better, and plus a lot of world building. Also, it will be interesting to see. Let's just pretend that this character doesn't stay in for episode or season 2 when he goes back to his world. He could be the Superman of that world, and that'd be so cool. But I did like this episode was so freaking good. It was so good. The writing on this show is very good. It's better than the rest of the CW shows. I swear they don't know what they're doing. This show, they may not know. I saw an interview and the guy, the showrunner or whatnot, was all like, he's like, what's your favorite thing? What's the best thing about making the show? And he's like, just the fact that we got 5 episodes. That was when they did the 5 episodes. And I was and from what I understand is this show is kind of like, they just were trying to put it together because with COVID, they didn't know what they were going to do and stuff. But, yeah, this show is, I think, solid. It's so good. The writing is good. The acting is good. The visual effects, for TV are good. They got a budget. And I just really enjoy it. I really enjoyed it a lot. And I think that this episode was maybe the last episode was my favorite, but this, I'm not sure. This episode was really good though. Okay, so that is my breakdown and review of episode 7 of season 1 of Superman and Lois. Tell me, what did you guys think about this episode? What was your favorite scene? For me, even though it was like, I loved all the flashbacks for Jeremy Irons, just because I love seeing origin stories and everything. But tell me what your favorite scene was. Who's your favorite character on this show? Jonathan right here. Who's your least favorite character, whatever. Who do you think will be the other super people, the Kryptonians or whatnot? Do you think this Clark will become bad? Just because the one did doesn't mean this one will. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. I will see you guys on the next Superman and Lois review. You guys have a good day. Bye.